I'm not freaking out for anyone, for you tree huggers just yet. Let's see what happens, right? I think it's interesting. My sources tell me that this is, I don't think it's the whole story, but this is, Teresa's been going around and saying, I'm going to have a redemption season with Louis. And it's the whole season wasn't going to be about Louis because I think they're minimizing the husbands and they don't want anything dark. They don't want bots and investigators and Bo Dietl. It's not what they want on the New Jersey Housewives. It's not what they want on any Housewives. This season of Beverly Hills, where we're not really talking about bots, although we just mentioned bots in this past episode with Jade doing his, with his charity for the online bullying. This season of Beverly Hills, I'm sure that they think is such a success. We're talking about writing Santos and Avi and Merce is no longer in the purse. This is the shit they want in Housewives. So it wasn't going to be all about Louis anyway, but I do think, my sources tell me that part of the season, at least there was a story of like Teresa and her redemption and the Fudas. And I mean, it's like, here we go again. Are we going to have to go back and re-edit parts of this now? I mean, is this now going to be a storyline? I don't know. I think that's what I think is more interesting because this is the stuff we can control. We can't control the legal stuff. Like, that's above all of our pay grades. Like, the courts have to work this out, guys. But, when I tell you if you get a cease and desist, you send me a cease and desist, I'm going to wipe my asshole with it. I'm going to throw it in the garbage. That means nothing to me. A cease and desist means nothing. It has no legal binding at all whatsoever. You do not have to respond to a cease and desist. You do not have to acknowledge a cease and desist. It's, saying that we're going to, I think back in the day, I gave way more credence to a cease and desist. Now everyone fucking uses a cease and desist and it means nothing. It has no legal binding. You can rip it up, shove it up your asshole, and never respond. Now, a lot of lawyers will tell you that's not really the right thing to do, because it is saying if you don't do these following things, but I don't like them. They are bullying tactics. And again, if you ever send me a cease and desist, I will wipe my asshole with it. I will write fuck you on it and I will send it back to you. Or I may not even waste the stamp. I might just throw it out and move on with my life. This ain't a cease and desist, guys. It's a lawsuit. You have to now deal with it. It's going to cost money. So this isn't like a great day for Louis and Teresa, but let's see. I wonder if things are going to be re-edited. I wonder if now we're going to drop the foreshadowing carrots, like we had to do with Kyle and Mauricio, like we had to do with Scandival, or is this now just like we're not even going to mention this on RHONJ? Because I mean, we had a whole thing with Erica and Tom before it became the storyline where we just didn't mention it. I don't know. This is really going to be interesting. Can you think of Teresa? Can you imagine? Can you imagine going to camp? She went away to camp, guys. You went to jail, girl. I mean, you went to prison, excuse me. But can you imagine going through all of that for like wire fraud and this and that with Juicy, the Juicer? My favorite interview of all of last year. I really got to get Juicy. Does everyone want me to get Juicy back? I mean, honestly, it's a new year. Do you want me to get Juicy back? It's a real question here behind the velvet rope. We had the Juicer last year. We had Bo Dietl last year. I don't think Bo Dietl is coming back right now, guys. I mean, you're involved in a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? But you want me to get Juicy back? Really, that's a real question. Or has everyone had enough of the Juicer? I haven't had enough of the Juicer. But can you imagine being Teresa and going through this? And like, I mean, that was you're in court with your dark blue suit, and then your husband is like, I mean, it just went from bad to worse, and deported into days in ice, and then you let it go, and he leaves, and man, oh man. And now here we are. So whether Louis did this, whether he didn't do this, whether this gets really dark, which it could, the point is the PTSD that you must have from that whole thing. I don't see how, if you're Teresa, your mind at this point. So tree huggers, she ain't my queen. This is your time, girl, guys and girls. Support your queen. Really. I'm being serious. Like, I just think, look, this will test their marriage. And I think Teresa's not going to leave. I'm not suggesting that. But I mean, you had someone Juicy that was telling you it's going to be okay. I don't know what they're doing, knocking on my door. What is this? Bada bing, bada boom. It's okay, baby. And then we're going to the third round of court and the fourth round, and this happens. And it's like that happens. You don't get over that. So, what Teresa must be feeling now when she goes to bed at night? And it's like, well, he says it's going to be okay. Louis telling me everything's going to be okay. Bo Deedle is telling Louis probably like, Bo, can you do me a favor? Hold on. Teresa, get on the phone with Bo. Teresa, it's Bo. Everything's going to be okay. Don't you worry. So, I mean, I think that she's probably having to be talked off a ledge, but I just think no matter what anyone is telling you, nobody is in your head. So you're hearing everything is going to be okay from very powerful people. Your husband that you love, Bo Deedle, who's not to be fucked with. And yet, how can you not flash back to what already happened to you when you were being told everything was going to be okay? I just think Teresa probably, despite what she's being told in her mind, has gone to a dark place of like, not again. And this could all be okay. I might be just being dramatic here, and we just don't know. But how could your mind not go to that dark place of like, I can't lose a nut? I mean, this is just so, who would wish this on this woman? I don't care if you are Team Melissa. I mean, who would wish this on somebody? Could you imagine this, the love of your life, your soulmate? Now, the same thing is happening under different circumstances. Like, you can't make this up. So I don't think it's like this big thing right now, but I mean, look at the Tom and Erica thing and how that snowballed. Look at Teresa and Juicy. Let's just TBD, right? TBD. This could all be, people are sued every day, and it's just bullshit. It's bullshit. So TBD, right? Like, let's just see. I am not weighing in A or B because it is really, truly too early to tell. Okay. That's all. It was different for me with like Tom Girardi when there were actual victims. There were victims that were like, I was owed this money. Where is it? Now there's a second victim. Now there's a fifth. That to me was different. There's actual human beings. This is like, is this one obsessed with you? Are you obsessed with her? What do you do? Let's just see what happens. I mean, Louis himself has not made a statement, but he was sharing inspirational quotes on Instagram before. I always think when you're sued, you know it's coming. Inspirational quotes hours before being sued. Be the energy you want to attract. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Here he goes again. Your vibe attracts your tribe. I'm like, okay. So I mean, is this related? I don't know, but these quotes are not